So today was mainly the rubric, the planning document. Those were the only ones today. Prior to today, to build up, we had some videos that explain those parts. So about the introduction, about a thesis statement. And that was mainly just to give them an alternative to our lecture style or a worksheet. So those would be the key ones. It also gives them another perspective of another voice to these things, yeah.
And the text, what was the text?
Oh, right. The book is called The Endless Step. So we finished that about 2 weeks ago. And we've done discussions on symbol, theme, and motif, and then they had to pick one and analyze its importance to the novel. So all of that's built up, yeah. Well, for today, so like I was saying earlier, the writing process is something they jump through. They don't go step by step. They don't, that peer review probably wouldn't happen if it was just up to them or encouraged. So we chose the planning doc to let them map out what is your data and then how does it support, versus just telling them that's what they need to do. If we had given them the rubric first, which says this is what you need to do, your data has to be supported by a warrant, they wouldn't have been able to do that just on their own. So giving the planning doc lets them map it out before they mush it into a paragraph, as we tell them. And then the rubric lets them self-assess and clearly see where they lie. We haven't had them analyze the rubric like we did today, like in their own words, to really look at it. And that's partially because rubrics are always used, but the students don't often look at them. So that's also why we chose to do that today. Just instead of giving them the rubric, use that as part of the instruction. Well, I mean, we made them all ourselves, so it's not that we saw them and liked something and took it. I guess they were created with supports in mind. So they were created out of the idea that they're not teaching the content, but they're supporting their ability to do it on their own. So the planning doc, they can then go home and do their essay on their own. The rubric, they can go home and self-reflect. So I guess we created them, we like to create materials that are supportive and not just instructional, if that makes sense. So not just giving them, delivering content like through a worksheet, but then providing supports that they can do this independently. I don't think I'd change the materials, but the time we spend on them. We're very rushed right now, so like half the class didn't even have that planning doc done, which is a combination of some kids just don't do their homework, but it's also some of them didn't fully understand how to use it, and that's partially because we kind of introduced it and then said, okay, do it, because we need to. We're running out of days. So I would have spent more time on that planning, more in-class time, but I think it works well as a support. The kids who did it actually said that it worked well, and they had full paragraphs, so they were successful using it, but they understood it. Well, it's the writing process, and rubrics are everywhere, so hopefully they can internalize that writing process, the steps, or see how helpful it was or successful, so that they do that on their own. They seek out a parent, like that one student said, we could ask a parent, that would be great. They could give them the rubric, the process for peer review, and do it. Or chunking a rubric, looking at a rubric to analyze what do I need to do to be succeeding. So I don't know that those specific materials are meaningful beyond English class, but there are rubrics in other English classes, there are graphic organizers in other classes. So hopefully they can see that they actually work as supportive tools for them. It made them have better work in the end.